Well, hello and welcome to Old People This Week. I am Jeff, and that guy,
Right
you know
here.
him as a man who wears many hats. He's an entrepreneur, Bronco buster, and of course, hip hop artist.
And great barber.
Great barber. Looks like you need a cut there. You need to
Oh yeah,
get
it's
busy.
getting long now. It's getting real long. I've got it.
Getting long, hippie. We are your hosts. Old People This Week is for smart and sassy people who are at least 60 years of age and up. If you somehow stumbled in here, you can hit the door, get back to your Tinder, TikTok, or Reddit, or you can stay here and learn because Mike and I are the smartest men in the whole Pacific region, and that includes Hawaii. And if you stick around, you're going to get information, and that information is going to make you sound smart this weekend when you're hanging out with your friends, playing pickleball, or you're at the golf course, you're at the gym, or certainly at happy hour, where Mike and I while away the hours pontificating like a couple of old fools.
Do our best work.
Yeah, our best
I've
work.
got to get you drinking martinis though. That red wine bothers me.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
I'll try it next time.
I mean, I love a good Pinot Noir, but I want to get you in a martini.
All right. Sounds good. I have to say adios. I'm getting of that age where people of my age are starting to fall away, as
Yep.
it were. Lost a guy named Phil Varquette the other day. Known Phil since high school. Died in Texas. Adios, Phil. See you on the other side. Take care. He was a cop, though.
Oh,
He worked his way up to like detective or something in our little town. Then he
Oh, wow.
moved to Texas to retire, I guess, and that was it. It was Texas sapped him, took the strength out of him. All right, we had a comment from a viewer, Mike. You'll be interested in this.
okay.
He wrote that maybe if your wife dies, he was talking about me.
Yeah.
Mike will be your nurse with a purse.
Boy, does he need to be filled in.
You'll be my happy hour nurse with a purse.
Yeah.
I'll come to happy hour all forlorn because I'm alone, and you'll fill me up with martinis.
Introduce you to every 20-year-old in the neighborhood
20-year-old what?
who's looking for a sugar daddy.
Oh, I'm too cheap to be a sugar daddy. So I have my rant this week, of course. There are 230 school shootings in the last decade, and active shooting drills have become part of a student's life.
Yeah.
Did you have shooting drills in your one-room schoolhouse out there in Montana?
No, because we all carried guns.
No, we didn't either. We had duck and whatever it was called, where they were
duck
afraid
and
of
cover.
nuclear. Yeah, duck and cover.
Duck and cover.
They were afraid of a nuclear bomb falling on Ashtabula, Ohio.
Yeah.
Well, they had
And
us hide under desks.
that school desk was certainly going to save your ass when that nuclear wave ripped through the East Coast.
Yeah, it's not going to rip that far up to where I was. There's no way. No, there wasn't a Russian or communist interested in bombing anything in Ohio. Believe me. So what's popped up now everywhere, but kind of all this armored gear you can buy for your kids now that they're going back to school.
Yeah, bulletproof everything.
Bulletproof backpacks with removable ballistic shields. In part of this article, they talked to a guy who is a national school safety consultant, and his name, get this, is Kenneth Trump.
Oh my God.
But he didn't. This Kenneth Trump knows his crap about this national safety rules and regulations, and he said he didn't think much of the backpack. He said a backpack isn't particularly useful when it's hanging on a rack in the back of a classroom.
Yeah, or out in the hallway.
Right, he's got a point.
Yeah, yeah.
Next thing was a bulletproof hoodie, $450, by the way. The manufacturer Wonder Hoodie claims that its sweatshirts will protect all vital organs. And I'm not making this up. The company promised that if you get shot with our hoodie on, we'll send you a replacement free of charge. Just send along a police report or news clip.
Yeah. And anybody that thinks a hoodie worn by a child is going to deflect or stop a bullet is nuts.
They are charging $450 because they absolutely believe that.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. A bulletproof clipboard for teachers that will supposedly stop gunfire from a handgun or a shotgun. But Mr. Kenneth Trump didn't think of much of this one either. He said, are you telling me that the entire class is going to line up in a perfectly straight line behind the teacher's clipboard?
The whole thing's ludicrous.
Now there's bulletproof backpack inserts and a bulletproof pencil pouch. Trump said about this, he goes, how is a kid going to instinctively know whether he or she should hold the pouch in front of their chest or their face?
As you well know, I mean, I grew up hunting and shooting. I have a gun collection. But this nonsense about AR-15s in the hands of anyone other than legitimate law enforcement or army is just ludicrous. There's no God-given reason for those guns to be out there.
I'm going to get myself a bulletproof microphone just in case you get a little obstreperous someday.
Yeah.
Protect myself. Let's get to something that we know a little bit more about, like reality TV, specifically
Oh, yeah.
The Bachelorette. Well, I'm a week behind, but I didn't trust that French guy. His name is Pasquale Igbui, I-G-B-U-I, who's from Chicago.
The
But I
hairdresser.
did like that dude who got out of the limo and he was singing away. I did it my way.
Oh, no.
And he cooks. He cooked, I forget what he cooked, pasta. No, he didn't cook pasta. I can't remember. But he cooked something for her, too, that first night. And I even like the guy with the dumb name, Chalk.
Chalk.
Chalk. But I'm skeptical of this whole process, and this goes back to the Golden Bachelor. You take Pascal, for example. He made no bones about the fact when he was talking to her and talking to the camera and talking to those other guys that he loves Chicago. His business is there. His family's there. He's not going to uproot his life and go live in Maryland with Joan Bassos. I don't care. The young bachelorettes, the ones that are in their 20s, they'll go live anywhere. They don't care. They'll just take off. Their life's not that set. But you're talking about guys who are 60-some years old who have firm businesses. His hair salon probably makes him $1 billion a year. He's not going to leave it to go, live in some rural town in Maryland. Nobody's doing their hair out there.
And likewise, she has a big family where she is, and she's certainly not going to move to Chicago and travel the world with him. I mean, I loved how he was bragging about how much money he makes, and he can get on a plane and go wherever he wants, whenever he wants, and blah, blah, blah. And I don't have a sense that that's her lifestyle.
No. She left the Bachelor because her daughter had a difficult pregnancy, and so she's obviously super close to her family and her grandkids. She's not going to uproot her life for that guy. That's what I think broke up Gary and Teresa Nist.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, she was pretty well grounded. I think he was kind of a dweeb, but in any case, she wasn't going to move to his lakeside house, wherever the heck that was, in the middle of nowhere. So no.
No. Anyway, speaking of the Golden Bachelor, old Jerry Turner. Well, it's pronounced Jerry. After 2 years, I'm still screwing this up. He spells it Gerry, but it's pronounced Gary.
Gary, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, do you remember one of the last 3 or 4 women that he dumped was Faith Martin?
Yeah, was she the one from Washington State?
Yeah.
Up in the Tri-City area.
Yeah. Gary went on a home visit to meet her family, and later he sort of dumped her unceremoniously, and she was pretty pissed about it, if you remember, too.
Yeah, she was.
Well, there was an article in the Times about the children of these people, and this Faith's son's, his name is Brendan, who had urged his mom to apply for the Golden Bachelor, was not happy when he saw her sitting on the lap of a Chippendale dancer. One of those moments. And he was not happy when she got dumped.
Yeah, because the kids get invested in this too. I mean, they're part of the process up until they're not.
Yeah.
And on that abrupt day when they're not, I mean, it's like they get dumped too.
Yeah. And he was saying that it went from him, being all into this and helping her apply and watching the show avidly and all that, to where he's got to nurse her through a depression after Gary, says, "See you later. No rose for you, Faith."
You ought to be thankful if he's seen what Gary's stellar track has been since the show was over. She's lucky she avoided him.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram. He's not doing anything. He's just hanging out basically and living off his fame.
Yeah.
Anywho, that's enough of the Golden Bachelor. I'm going to watch this week. I'll try to catch up and see who's moving on and who's not. Last week, what my rant was really about celebrities and their inane lifestyles.
Yeah.
And it was documented in an article in the Los Angeles Times in which they asked Jessica Alba, "How do you spend your Sundays?" And Jessica Alba said, "Well, at 9 a.m., my husband Cash comes in with a latte and my son delivers it with a kiss. And then we go out and look at bug and worms. And then we meditate. And then we plan dinner and we watch a movie." And I basically said, that's BS. That's not what an American family's life is like. It's the exact opposite.
I can see you having an acai bowl for lunch.
Somebody after this aired, somebody in my circle said, "That's not how you pronounce acai." They yelling at me like, I don't think you pronounce it acai. I think that's just what we pronounce it because we don't know any better.
I don't know any better. Yeah. It's phonic. It's phonics.
Yeah. It's phonics. That's something I studied. They had phonics back in the 1860s?
Oh, yeah. A-E-I-O-U.
I'll sing it for you.
Yeah, no, please don't.
No, but the real life, a real American family, you're running around on Sundays, you're going out to some sports, like I said, or, to some sporting event, or you're going to some party. And let me put it this way. If you ever want to know what hell is, go to a Chuck E. Cheese some Sunday.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's why you're lucky.
Did you see 60 Minutes on Sunday? They did a profile on the gal who used to be on Friends, Demi Moore, and her lovely life of solitude in her Beverly Hills mansion, and how she's found herself, and she's so happy now. And oh God!
Wait a minute, Demi Moore, first of all, was a movie star. She was never on Friends or any other TV show.
No, I thought Demi Moore was in Friends, wasn't she?
No.
Well, see, that shows you what I don't know. She was married to Bruce Willis, though.
Yes, she was a movie star. She did tons of movies.
Okay.
G.I. Jane, for Christ's sake. I did see an article about her, but it was in the New York Times Magazine, and she was bitching about how men, if all she got for her entire career was men inappropriately leering at her. Anyway, but besides Jessica Alba, then I thought I was past all getting raging about the celebrity and their schedules when I read another article about this woman by the name of Erin. I think it's pronounced Lichy, Lichy, and she's a cast member on The Real Housewives of New York City. You probably watch that show, don't you, Mike?
Well, I only do because the one of the women who was one of the principal movers in I can't even remember the name of the store now. J. Crew.
Okay.
Yeah. She and Mickey Drexler were like the guiding lights of it, and she's still got a hell of a reputation in the fashion business, and she's now one of the housewives.
Yeah.
And the other gal, also the one you're talking about, has something to do with the fashion business, but I don't know.
I'll tell you what she has to do with it. It's not fashion. She's 37 years old. Has 3 kids. She sells luxury real estate, and by the way, that's another word for I don't do anything, but I sell luxury real estate.
Yeah.
And she has homes on the Upper West Side of New York City and Sag Harbor, which I guess is in the Hamptons, which I've never been in my life. Have you been there?
Yeah, they're great. Mary and I used to go out to the polo matches in the summertime when we had markets in LA. It was great. It's like if you don't mind sitting in traffic for 6 hours. We weren't quite in the helicopter class yet, but.
In fact, they were going to polo matches. It's bad enough. Jesus. At any rate, her schedule makes Jessica Alba's almost feel like a normal. So here's one day of it. before camp, where she's going to dump her kids off for 10 hours, she gets them a smoothie called the Strawberry Monkey in downtown Sag Harbor. Then after she's thrown them out of the car, she goes to the acupuncturist for her trigger finger. I didn't get what that meant, by the way.
It's probably what she taps her cell phone with.
Yeah, one finger. But anyway, she has one finger so bad that she had to go see an acupuncturist. Then she went home for a 10 o'clock call that was about the mezcal she promotes. And then after a long day of work, which included a call with an architect about a house she's renovating in the Hamptons, and after she had her hair and makeup done at the house, and took a Pilates class, and rolled some more calls, then she went to an Italian restaurant called Tutto il Giorno for dinner in the Hamptons, Sag Harbor. And I looked it up.
I'm exhausted.
I looked up this restaurant. One of their appetizers, which is prosciutto and melon, which, by the way, at our local Italian restaurant is, $12.
Yeah.
At Tutto il Giorno, she paid $39 for it.
Of course she did, because she sells luxury real estate.
Yeah, luxury real estate. And what killed me is that there was no mention of her doing anything with the kids. They just got thrown into some daycare. We'll see you later. Yeah. Now, real American families, they may use daycare because they have to go to real jobs. You have to put the kids somewhere. But if you have if your schedule is open, you have time. Rather than do Pilates, why don't you hang out with the kids?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Oh, God forbid. Yeah.
Yeah, stupid. So I have no respect for Erin. And by the way, I don't know your friend from J. Cruz, but I do know this. There was an article today I was reading it on MSN.com about this jacket that J. Crew made back in the 80s and early 90s. It had this, it was like an outdoorsy jacket.
Yeah.
And it has come back into style. It's retro. And they put it on their website the other day, and they sold out like 1 million jackets. And guess what? I got one in my closet. I've had it there for 30 years, sitting there. Valerie won't even let me wear it because she thinks it's ragtag looking.
Does it still fit?
Yeah, it still fits.
It'll take more than a 30-year-old jacket to make you hip, because you're still going to be wearing that hair.
Oh, man. Looking good, isn't it?
That's frightening.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
All right.
That woman's name is Jenna Lyons, by the way,
Who?
on Housewives in New York.
That's your
The
friend
one from J. Crew. Yeah.
I don't watch that show. I don't like that Andy Cohen. I don't like any of those. That whole thing is ridiculous. Though he is funny on the CNN New Year's Eve show.
Yeah, he got his ass in trouble over something, though. Some speculation about whether or not he's going to survive. There's some issue about harassment or some darn thing.
They all get the harassment charge
Yeah.
in the end of the day. Yeah. That's why I don't have any female employees on this podcast. I don't want you bothering them. You destroy this podcast with your sexual innuendos.
Pretty hard for him to resist. But
Yeah, right. Yeah. Resist. Oh, my God. No. All right. New York Times has a advice column, and the questions are usually pretty serious. Real serious, like about topics of Alzheimer's or whatever.
yeah.
But then on the side, next to it, there's a smaller little advice column called Bonus Advice from Judge John Hodgman. And these questions are always goofy. And this one this week was, this guy was writing in to talk about his father. He goes, "My father has this habit of taking photos of the odometer in his car when it hits certain numbers he finds interesting. Like, for example, if the odometer passes 10,000, then he'll take a picture of it, right? But he takes the picture while he's driving."
Oh, good. Oh, good. Wonder what his insurance is.
I love that question. The guy was basically saying to Judge Hodgman, "What do I do?"
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Speaking of hobbies, and I know one of your hobbies, besides roping dogies,
Dogies.
is
That long little doggy.
is doing, what's that called? You do with those pony horses of yours, dressage.
Dressage.
What's that mean, anyways? Do you dress up the horses?
God, I gotta you and I have to have a training session. No, dressage is simply a technique of training a horse to do very specific movements without any overt sign that you're directing the horse. So you can't move your hands on the reins. It's all done with very slight leg pressure, and it's very sophisticated. It's like ballet on a horse. It's beautiful.
Oh, ballet on a horse.
It's beautiful.
I'm not even going to comment on that, ballet on a horse. I'd love to see you doing some ballet with a horse.
You look it up.
I am going to look it up.
Yeah,
So,
great.
what about hobby horses? You ever ridden one of those?
When I was 3,
Well, people are gone nuts for it. There's just the other day, last week in Germany, 300 people entered a hobby horse championship. They competed in time jumping, style jumping, and dressage, just like you do,
yeah,
on their wooden stick horses. You have to see pictures of this. This is one that's from the U.S. Championship. I thought that's just insane.
it's ludicrous. There was a contestant on America's Got Talent on one of the first shows of the season, and it was a girl from Germany, and she did a hobby horse routine. And got 4 buzzers, 4 red X's.
I would start throwing stuff at her to get her off stage.
It was just ludicrous, and she was jumping over. It's like, oh my God.
It's like that woman Ray Gunn.
Oh, Raygun, who has a seizure otherwise, and she wants you to think it's breakdancing.
But yeah, but you sit and look at it, you say that's not breakdancing. And when you see somebody on a hobby horse, that's not dressage. That's somebody with a stick between their leg, prancing around.
It's ridiculous.
But we should do it though. But I thought that you and I should have the old people this week sponsor a hobby horse, competition for people who are age 60 and above.
And above. That'd be a worse injury rate than pickleball.
Yeah, people flopping all over the place and falling down.
What you and I should do, is ride hobby horses into happy hour.
Oh my God! They would not only evict us, they'd have us committed.
They would throw us off the balcony.
Yeah. This next story is one of my all-time favorite restaurants. I used to go to it in New York City in Times Square, which shows you the level of restaurant that I'm used to going to. You're out at Sag Harbor between polo matches eating at restaurants. I'm in Times Square eating at Red Lobster.
Oh my God.
That was good food. Good food. So in June of last year, Red Lobster announced the ultimate endless shrimp, as much as you could scarf down for $20. It became an all-day, everyday fixture on the menu.
Yeah.
Well, as this writer put it, game on, said America.
Yeah.
So diners swarmed the chain's nearly 700 restaurants, ordering round after round of Parrot Isle jumbo coconut shrimp, Walt's favorite, garlic shrimp scampi, which is shrimp in a pool of butter and garlic sauce, shrimp linguine Alfredo, and grilled shrimp skewers. And the first round came with 2 sides, coleslaw, French fries, mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, or rice.
Yeah.
Okay. So needless to say, people went berserk.
All you can eat.
All you could eat. In a raucous display of gluttony, people would fill up the restaurants and declare their roles, like on TikTok or something, say, "Hi, my name is Steve, and I'm going to eat 65 shrimp tonight." Or posted videos of themselves shrimp gobbling, shoving shrimp down their throat, or doing marathons where they'd stay there for hours.
Ay, ay, ay.
One guy wrote, "Only eat at Red Lobster for an entire day?" He wrote, "Challenge accepted."
Nuts.
It was
Put
nuts.
them out of business.
Well, so it put an enormous strain on their employees. And that's, you're out in that kitchen working, all you're doing is making 20 different kinds of shrimp for people. The pandemic didn't help when it started taking business away from Red Lobster, and they had some cheaper alternatives pop up. And then these guys from Thailand called Thai Union bought the Red Lobster franchises and started cracking down. They would conduct surprise inspections and give them stern lectures, it said, and put in cost-cutting measures that push the working staff to its breaking point.
Yeah, I, I mean, you just define a shit show and that would be it. A bunch of guys from Thailand coming in to oversee you giving away free shrimp
Yeah.
and screaming about it.
Yeah, scream about it. The working in a restaurant is tough work because it's brutal. I did it. I worked in a restaurant on Hollywood Boulevard. I've mentioned that before. It was horrible. It was a barbecue restaurant called Love's Barbecue. It was right on Hollywood near Highland Avenue, and it was filled with every piece of trash on on Hollywood Boulevard would try to get in there and steal stuff and drive you crazy. And I was more like a bouncer than I was a waiter there, just trying to keep people from
Stealing ribs.
stealing, barfing in there, everything. Anyways, so this endless shrimp promotion made the dining room hellish and chaotic, as one manager put it. Some customers would plant themselves there for hours, ordering nothing but shrimp and water.
Oh, yeah. They don't want their margins.
The managers called them campers, said Zachary Spain, a manager at the Red Lobster Times Square. He said this one couple, they came in every Sunday, and I'd say they'd eat about 100 shrimp apiece, maybe 120.
Good Lord.
He goes, we'd see people all the time scraping shrimp into Tupperware in their lap. So you come in there and you go, I want, the all you can eat shrimp. Give me a side of coleslaw and French fries, a glass of water, and then just start shoving shrimp down your
Leave me
face.
alone.
Yeah. And then please ignore the giant Tupperware sitting in my lap that I'm going to fill up with shrimp. You've got to get sick of shrimp after a while, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, you and I order the shrimp appetizer at our happy hour hangout, and we get like 6 or 8 shrimp, and that's plenty for me.
Yeah.
I can't imagine eating 100 shrimp.
If you eat 100 shrimp, there's something wrong with you anyways.
That'd be like the hot dog eating contest.
That's just like eating for eating's sake. That's not even,
No, you're
that's
not
like
enjoying
eating
it.
just, it's just like, okay, it's a deal, so I'm just going to stuff myself. It's
Yeah.
terrible people.
Yeah.
I worked at a place when I was a teenager called the Swedish Smorgasbord. And there was nothing Swedish about it at all. But it basically was an all-you-can-eat cafeteria. And in a small town like in the backwoods of Ohio, it was, when you could pay one price and eat all you want, people did go berserk.
Yeah.
They would, bring down their trays and they'd start putting on food, all kind of, give me those mashed potatoes, they pile on the mashed potatoes and chicken and all kind of crap. But for us who worked there, it was great because we could steal stuff.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, we were walking out of there with anything we could stick under our shirts, no matter how greasy it was, chicken in our pockets, anything.
Did you get a free meal? Did they feed you?
No, they didn't feed us. We only could eat what we stole.
That's good.
One night, I got out of there with a lemon meringue pie.
A whole pie?
Whole pie.
Oh,
We ran out to the car. Dude's driving an old Chevy convertible, and there was like 8 of us shoved in this thing, and I'm in the back seat with the lemon meringue pie, and we're flying down this country road. It probably wasn't even paved, and in front of us, about 200-300 yards in front of us, we see a guy hitchhiking.
oh no.
And the driver is just, we're yelling, hey, stop. And the driver, no, we're just going to keep going. And so he's going to try to speed by this hitchhiker. And I launched that lemon meringue pie at the dude. And this is the guy's truth, hit him right in the face.
Oh my God.
Bet the tin around his face. But the classic was, we were 100 yards past him and turned around. And he was still, hadn't moved. His thumb was still out. He's standing stock still with a lemon meringue pie wrapped around his face.
That's terrible.
It was
Well, it's
terrible.
probably more than he had to eat all day, so.
Who knows why he was out in the middle of Ohio in the backwoods with his thumb out there, like somebody's going to pick him up. Somebody'd shoot him out there.
Yeah, well, or he'd shoot you after you stopped.
We weren't stopping after that. We bolted. All right. I also ate, you speak about smorgasbord. I also ate one time with my son. His name's Cade. We ate at a Golden Corral. My sole responsibility was I had supposed to have him up the next morning for a soccer match at like an 8 a.m. soccer match. And my wife kept saying, she wasn't with us. We had traveled somewhere for this game. And she goes, whatever you do, don't let him overeat. Well, there we were at the Golden Corral,
Yeah.
pounding down food. So much so that I had so much fried chicken. I let him eat all this pasta and stuff. Next day, he couldn't move. The coach just looked at him and went, just sit on the bench.
Yeah,
He
you're done.
couldn't move, sick and everything. But God, it was good. Golden Corral.
Yeah,
Anyways,
they do a
back
good
to,
job.
go
They
ahead.
do a good job.
Yeah, Golden Corral. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Back to our Thai owners of the Red Lobster. The chief executive, his name is Thirafong Chansiri. Thirafong. Anyways, he's the chief executive. He announced that the company was cutting all ties to Red Lobster, like a parent disowning a child, as they put it. In a statement, Thai Union said it had little choice after exploring all avenues to resolve the Red Lobster's onerous financial obligations and investing hundreds of millions of dollars in the chain during the most adverse market conditions in the company's history. Well, what caused those adverse market conditions was you boneheads telling they could eat all the shrimp you wanted.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. Yeah. If they go away, I'll miss it. I'll miss that one in Times Square. It was a great place. So hopefully Red Lobster can bounce back.
Yeah, so they're out of business completely?
No,
Or somebody else pick them up?
I don't know that answer, but I know they're not out of business completely. There's still Red Lobsters around.
Okay.
Oh, well, whatever. All right, on to our Florida funnies.
You got the
I don't-
story I sent you about the woman on the cruise, right?
Yeah, that's the first one here.
Yeah.
Now, her name, by the way, is Jenny Phoenix. The last name of Phenix, Phoenix. She's 68 years old, and she was divorced, and she decided to amass all of her money and take a 3-year cruise on a ship called the Villa V Odyssey. It was supposed to visit 425 destinations in 147 countries. I didn't know there was 147 countries in the world, honestly.
That would accommodate a cruise ship.
Yeah. If you asked me to name 147 countries, I would be hard pressed to come up with some of these places.
Yeah.
And 450, ports. It's crazy. Anyways, 3 years. She's going to do it. She sells all her possessions. She sells her businesses that she had, and she's waiting and sort of living out of a suitcase. And the article didn't say how much she paid for this trip, but I looked it up and it said it cost a minimally of $115,000, and that's before taxes and fees, and that's probably for an inside room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the cheap end of it. And she was even so excited about this that she was thinking about joining their Endless Horizon program, which would allow passengers to cruise for the rest of their lives.
No, thank you.
I don't want to cruise for the rest of my life.
Have you ever been on a cruise?
No, I'm not going on a cruise. I'm not going to be stuck on some boat, some COVID boat.
With 7,000 strangers.
Yeah, 7,000 strangers.
Yeah, I don't
The-
get it. I know Mary and I took a short promotional cruise one time when she was a big shot in San Francisco. One of the cruise lines brought a ship in and had a big party on it one night, and we got to go out under the Golden Gate Bridge and make a big loop, turn around and come back in. And it was just like, get me off of this thing.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. I went as a sightseer on the Queen Mary down in Long Beach Harbor.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't move anywhere, and I was bored.
Yeah.
I might take one. They have ones that go from LA down to Ensenada. That might be fun. You just go down. It's only, you're only on board overnight, and then you're in Ensenada. You can go crazy down there and come back. That might not be too bad.
If you don't get murdered.
You don't get thrown off. That's what scares me. Valerie, if my wife had any plans about killing me, she'd wait till we're
yeah.
on that cruise.
Yeah, man missing on Mexican cruise. Wife denies complicity.
Here, Jeff, look over the side of the
Yeah,
boat here. Look at it. There's
yeah.
something in the water there. Oh yeah, what's that? Boom.
Boom.
So Jenny Phoenix, they finally are supposed to meet up with this boat over in Belfast, Ireland, and that's where it's docked. That's where they're supposed to board, and they were supposed to board in mid-May this year. So her and a bunch of passengers go over there. Well, boat's not ready to leave, and there's delay after delay after delay,
Oops.
and Jenny gets pissed.
As she should have.
She starts bitching about this situation to fellow passengers on WhatsApp, that app that's basically supposed to be private.
Yeah.
And then she gets an email from the cruise ship owners that they said that her contract was being canceled for, in quotes, behavior impacting community morale. She bitched and moaned about this, but they stuck to it, and she got bounced.
Oh my God.
She said that her remarks weren't rude or disrespectful, and she never participated in a personal attacks, and that they were private, a capital PRIVATE. So she threatened to sue. The company thought, well, what the hell? So they're going to refund her money, but they're not letting her back on. She went back to Miami. She jumped on the last leg of another world cruise on board Royal Caribbean Serenade of the Sea. And guess what?
The original boat still hasn't sailed.
The original boat that Via de whatever it was is still in Belfast. It hasn't moved.
Sounds like a scam to me.
I just, 450 ports in 100 and what odd,
No.
nations. It's just crazy.
No. No.
You'd be eating the same thing all the time, seeing the same people.
With nothing to do. And you'd be seasick half of the time.
You would run out of things to do. I don't care how big this boat is and how many attractions it's got on there. You're going to run out of things to do. And she's 68. She's not like she's going to go, doing a whole bunch of that kind of stuff that you see on TV where they're flying around. There's the huge water slides and all that kind of stuff. She's not going to do that.
No. No.
All right.
Crazy.
There's another reason not to live in Florida.
As if we needed one.
The Florida Python Challenge has a winner. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
Oh, this is scary.
Yeah. 10K prize, by the way, $10,000 prize went to some guy named Ronald Kiger, Kiger, who, in order to get this money, removed 20 pythons from the Florida Everglades during a 10-day hunt.
No. You couldn't pay me $10,000 to go hunt pythons.
Well, he got $10,000 and he captured 20 of them. There was 800 people from 33 states and Canada participated in the hunt. You know what the largest python they caught was?
It was huge. It was like 10 feet or something. Right?
Just about 9 foot, 11 inches.
God.
And God, can you imagine, you go out there, I wonder what you're allowed to take with you, because they said they were captured alive.
Well, how do you find them? I mean, do you know where pythons live?
Yeah, you're out in the Everglades. You better be damn careful where you're stepping.
Yeah, you walk around until one throws itself around you and tries to squeeze you to death.
Yeah, like they do in the Philippines. They squeeze people and they eat them. And I don't want to be in the Everglades and walking around and having some python try to. And they're not going to stay in the Everglades. If you're a python, you're not going to say, "Gee, the only place I want to stay is the Everglades." You're going to go looking for food that's elsewhere, and they're going to, it could be all over that state.
They are. That's one of the issues. I guess people have been releasing them for years into the Everglades, into the wild. And now they grow up to be 10 feet tall or 10 feet long. Jeez.
No, they put them in their toilets or whatever. They think they're getting rid of them. And next thing you know, you got pythons crawling all over the sewers, along with alligators.
No way.
That's not the job you want in Florida either, to work on the Department of Sewer, because you've got a life expectancy of about 1 year.
1 year. How many guys have retired with one hand from working in the sewer?
Yeah.
You see the football game over the weekend where one of the football players, I think it's for Cincinnati, has a pet alligator.
No.
Yeah, has a pet alligator, and he's lying in the back of his car, and he left it with a friend because he got called up to play a pro ball.
Oh. Remember that story we did about that guy who's got the
Oh, yeah.
The
Is it-
6 foot alligator that was a, what do they call those dogs? Animals?
Not a security pet.
It's a security
God.
pet too.
Yeah.
But it's like a pet for you to be, emotional support.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was an emotional support alligator that the dude had, and he carried it around with him all over the place until somebody stole it and released it.
Yeah. And then the fishing game guys released it into the wild.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Go find your alligator, bud.
Especially since he made his living on Instagram because of that alligator.
Yeah. I used to take the damn thing into like retirement homes. And I mean, what kind of peace of mind would you get in a retirement home if some guy came walking a 6 foot long alligator in?
I'm not going. That's why I'm not going to retire down in Florida either. I retire out here. Maybe, of course, out here somebody would probably walk in with an emotional support coyote or some
Nice
other
dog.
creature from out here.
Nice dog.
Yeah. All right, some more headlines from Florida. I'll show a picture of this if I have it. A Florida man with all gas, no brakes, tattooed on his neck, crashes while fleeing police.
Of course.
How messed up are you? What kind of a crazy family do you have, or what is going on in your brain that you would go into a tattoo artist's place and say, "Give me a tattoo on my neck that says all gas, no brakes"?
Well, so like the guy we talked about last week who had the state of Florida tattooed on his forehead.
I'll show that again if I can find it. That's
Yeah.
really, and plus it's really articulated. It's not, you can tell it's the state of Florida, and he put it right here,
Yeah,
right
it
between
comes-
his two
comes
eyes.
right down the bridge of his nose.
What an idiot. All right, here's another headline. Florida woman, so it's not always Florida men that are doing these ridiculous things. Florida woman calls 911 over stolen weed. So they get to the house, the cops arrest her for outstanding warrants. Another brainiac.
Had a girl.
All right, this is a good one. Florida man, drunk and stoned, pulls down his pants, says he'll kill cops and he'll rape their canine dogs.
Drum roll, please.
There's probably still beating on him with their batons just for him threatening their canines. There's nothing closer to a cop, not his wife, kids, nothing, but a cop who and his dog. So if you've got some fool getting out there saying, "I'm going to rape your canine dog," you're going to get the beating like you never got before.
He's going to meet that dog up close and personal.
Yeah,
And he
the dog's chewing on his kneecap right now. All right, here's another one. Florida man dressed as a banana charged for whipping out his banana. So the guy goes around in a banana suit, probably hammered like every other Florida man, and then pulls out his Johnson, and then he gets arrested. And what happens? He makes a headline.
I don't know too many sober guys who would say, "I think I'll wear the banana suit today."
You know, if you and I want to get into a good business, we got to go to Florida and open some liquor stores.
No, or just start a video service where we just drive around and video all this crazy shit and then put it together, do a reel.
Well, this website that I get these stories from basically has that. It's just filled with these stories. They're endless. I should put the website up here so people can go check it out, like make sure they'll believe that I'm not just making this stuff up as I go along.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here's the last story. I think it's the last story. Yeah. Florida man and his Florida woman, it's a couple, were arrested for engaging in a fully nude sexcapade on the side of the Dunedin Causeway this week. Unfortunately for them, the show was witnessed by children and others while passing by, which caused the sheriff and the deputies to get involved. So several witnesses basically driving down the road see this naked dude and his naked girlfriend or wife
Going at it.
on the side of the road going at it. One witness described them as naked. Now, check this out. I have to admit it is, you get the idea after you hear this description. The witness described them as naked, quote, from crack to sack going to town. Crack to sack.
Oh Oh, my
Holy
God.
shit. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, according to the police report obtained by the Smoking Gun of all websites, Robert Clark, who's 60, by the way, this is a 60-year-old man behaving this way.
What?
Yeah, and Sarah Vazikas, who's 55, were fully nude on top of one another. I don't know who that doesn't make any sense. Either one was on top or the other
Or
one.
the other.
They're on top of
Yeah.
one another. When Pinellas County Sheriff deputies pulled up on the side of the causeway, it stated that Clark was lying on his back with no clothes around him and his penis was fully exposed. So they go over, they arrest him, and he said he had no remorse about it, that it was fun. And then they asked the woman what was her opinion of the whole thing. She said it was a bucket list thing for her.
Oh, man. Well, at 60 years old, he probably had no remorse. He was happy he could get it up.
Yeah, he's probably happy as a clam out there. I'll tell you something, you better be careful laying on the side of a road in Florida, though. One of
Florida.
these pythons could come out of the woods and grab you. And your girlfriend.
And
Next
your
thing you know, you'll
girlfriend.
both be on top of each other inside of some python belly.
Yeah, I wonder what that relationship was. Did they just get together? Did they meet on a website? And what the deal?
They probably met 15 minutes earlier at some bar.
Yeah, looking for my bucket list partner.
You know, I've always had this bucket list idea. You up for it? All right, sure. Come on, honey. Go out here. No, let's not go to a motel, darling. Let's just go right here on the side of the
On the
causeway.
roadside, you got a blanket?
No, they didn't even use a blanket, I don't think. They just threw their clothes off. I remember they were naked from crack to sack. Crack to sack. That's naked. All right. Anyway, so everyone, this is we have to end this thing here. So please subscribe. If you subscribe, Mike will come over. He'll teach you how to ride a hobby horse, or he'll give you a back massage because he's practiced on all those horses of his.
You got it.
Yeah, subscribe. Send us an email. We love getting your emails. You can tell Mike he needs a haircut because that's what I'd be writing
This
in.
is
It's getting
starting
long.
to get a little long here, but we'll fix that.
Yeah, I fix that in 15 minutes, right?
Oh, yeah, less
Zip,
than.
zip.
Oh, yeah, less than. When I come over to do yours, I'll show you how easy it is.
You're not touching this head. If you don't like looking at Mike's long ass hair, or if you get just tired, if it hurts your eyes to look at my beauty, then
my
you can
God.
you can check us out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And check out our Substack, which is very popular at 52task.substack.com. Mike, I will see you later this week. As I said, I have family in town. Maybe we can get together and teach these youngsters how to do happy hour properly.
Yeah, properly. Give them the right elbow ass.
All right, just Mike, watch it. Remember, you don't want to be naked from crack to sack. That's not legal in this state.
I'm putting that on the list of things to avoid.
Adios.
Adios.